time now to review headlines on today's newspapers with Ombudsman of This Day and Arise Media Group and This Day Newspaper Limited's Group Executive Director, Kayode Komolafe. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, Abby.
Today?
Good morning, KK.
Good morning, Steve. Yeah.
Right, good to see you, sir. So we go straight to the newspaper review, first with This Day on Sunday. The lead story here says, PDP cautions Ariwoola against partisanship. Utterances eroding integrity of Judiciary. CJN's comment was twisted, misrepresented. Supreme Court clarifies. I'm sure that has to do with the dinner that the CJN had in Port Harcourt on the invitation of the governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike. On top of the lead story, on the side of the main, the first cover picture, don't allow PDP near nation's commonwealth. Again, Tinubu tells Nigerians that's about Tinubu's, the APC's presidential rally, which we focused on earlier, Abby, in Lagos yesterday. On the strip above the masthead, Nigeria's debt service burden to soar as local borrowing cost jump to 5-year high. It's a story on page 6. On the window, Atiku, I will name, shame, prosecute crude oil thieves. Meet Dangote, Otedola, Ovia, Elumelu, others. I believe that this is PDP's answer to the one that APC had, in which Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu met with the business community. Atiku too has now, done his own, and he has met almost the same, people that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu met with. Last but not the least for the story, NNPC, major marketers intensify collaboration to end fuels scarcity. That's on page 8. But we can hand this over to you, KK, without, of course, talking about the main cover picture, where you have the Arise News channel anchor, Adesu Amoruan, the chairman, editor-in-chief of This Day and Arise Media Group, Prince Nduka Obagbena, the widower and commissioner of police, Matthew Egwenu, retired, daughter of the deceased, and anchor Arise News channel, our own Ojinika, Jinix Okwe, and chairman Airpeace, Allen Oyema, at the burial mass in honor of Mrs. Philomena Ngozi, the mother of our own OG, which happened yesterday, and I believe that you represented us well there, KK.
I tried to.
Okay. So our condolences one more time, Abby, I believe, to our own OG and to the entire family. May she continue to find eternal bliss in the far country.
Amen.
Those are the stories in today's This Day. Okay.
Yes, I think the lead story of This Day, I say is the story of the moment. That is the statement allegedly made by the CJN. Since we're talking of the CJN court matter, so one has to be very careful, of content of court, So you say allegedly made by the CJN, that the CJN was making some political statement, praising members of a faction of a political party.
That's right.
And of course, that has drawn the eye of many people in the political community and generally as members of the public. But the context to this should be very clear. That the judiciary, in a democracy, the position, of every Democrat is that it should be independent. Not only should it be independent, but it should actually be seen, to be independent. And the CJN being the symbol, of that arm of government, and in fact being the head of that arm of government, has the onerous responsibilities on him, to actually put in word and in action to demonstrate that independence of the judiciary. And this one now should make us to reflect on this point that generally, judges or members of the bench, are supposed to be very conservative. Even their lifestyle, that they hardly have any social life. And even indeed, they have the kind of social interaction should be very tempered, you know, and measured, you know. And I think this is the lesson the CJN and other members of the bench, you know, should learn, you know, from the controversy, the very unfortunate, you know, controversy, you know, generated by this, you know. There is this story, you know, that, you know, many years ago, a judge, you know, attended a social function, you know, on a weekend. Whatever that was, a burial, you know, marriage ceremony. You know. So as he was departing, you know, the ceremony, you know, people saw him to his car, and a man who happened to be, I think, a plaintiff, you know, in a case that was pending before that judge, you know, merely, you know, waved to him and said, "Oh, my lord, you know, see you on Monday." You know, he said, "Oh, okay, my lord, bye-bye, see you on Monday." You know, so I said the judge took umbrage. Of course, he didn't respond to the guy, and of course, waited till the following Monday, the following Monday, when the man appeared in court with the other side, and the judge, you know, had to tongue lash that particular plaintiff. That, what was it that you were telling me that would say? What was the thing that you wanted to see me on Monday for? That, you know, under the fact that I'm sitting over your case, you know, and on the basis of that, you know, the judge, you know, reportedly, you know, dropped the case and, you know, excused himself on the case that there's no way the other side, you know, of the dispute, you know, the legal dispute, will have confidence in him if was seen to be hobnobbing with a party in the case. You know. So the moral of that, you know, story is just to show that, you know, the judges have to be very careful, you know, even when they are in the place. I think that is the lesson, you know, which the CJ and the other members of the kind of respect which they deserve, and the way the optics, you know, they give out, you know, to the public, you know, they should be very, you know, wary of this at every moment, you know, in order to protect, you know, the integrity, you know, of the judiciary. Okay. Now, like the front pages of other newspapers, you know, this day front page is reflective of the season, you know, that's what the political stories, you know. But one point to make there, you know, is that if you look at the upper strip on this day, you know, it's talking of saying that the dead burden of Nigeria, you know, by experts, you know, is getting heavier. So that you would then imagine that in the course of this campaign, you know, we should not be tired in trying to nudge, you know, politicians that, you know, they should do less of tirades, name calling, or even making what will appear to be even libelous statements against one another, and deal with the issues. That, for instance, it could have been interesting if, you know, on the hustings, you know, during the campaign, you know, you have different positions on this debt issue, you know, how it will be tackled, you know, as a key economic issue, you know, for the 2023 election, you know. And of course, we have several other issues, you know, that need to be addressed. So the politicians, you know, should be encouraged, and the public, you know, should not be tired, you know, of trying to insist that the 2023 election should be made issue-based. The campaign should be issue-based, and there are many issues, you know, in which people want to have the position, you know, of the candidates, you know, and their supporters, you know. Yes, some manifestos have been released, but of course, when they now go on the podium, you know, it's an opportunity, you know, to actually at least draw attention, you know, to those issues, you know, and do less of tirades, you know. And of course, one issue which, you know, should not escape our attention, which of course the viewers will be interested in as consumers of petroleum products, you know, long queues, you know, filling stations. So it's a relief. Yeah. So we say that in this respect, it's a relief that the major marketers are announcing that they're already having a sort of engagement with the NNPC, the downstream department of NNPC, to ensure that, you know, the problem will be resolved, and that maybe in the next few days, if not in the next few hours, you know, that the queues will disappear. You know, it is just intolerable. When you imagine what people go through, you know, just to get, you know, their tanks filled.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Habi, can we go to
Thursday Star?
Thursday Star?
On the cover of Thursday Star, we have Tokini Peterside Schwebig. Of course, she's the founder and chief convener of ArtX, which is an international art fair, which of course was conceived in 2016, and ever since then has played host to over 40 countries. Great achievement for the art space, and in terms of culture, of course, this is very aptly also subtitled Advancing African Art. I'm sure that you're both quite familiar with her work.
Very. Yeah. She has done very well with the ArtX. I think with the exception of 2020 when there was COVID. You know, ArtX has been very consistent. It's a good one. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to the Sunday Tribune. And the big, bold banner headline there says Cold War in APC over parallel campaign council. Tinubu allegedly fences off some governors, engages loyalists. Governors not aggrieved, Keyamo Onanuga. Ex-general mobilizes northern governors for Atiku. Maybe this, you know, in a way speaks to what we were discussing earlier, Abi, about the fact that, you know, a few governors and former governors that people will have expected to see on the stage yesterday with Asiwaju, you know, were not there. But the Tribune is focusing on the Cold War, allegedly, that is within APC over the campaign council. Other key stories there. My opponents can kill me. Tinubu boasts, berates Atiku at Lagos rally. And I think you will find that in a few other newspapers too. Guardian, for example, says APC Lagos rally, I cannot be killed. Tinubu declares. That's on page 2. So continuing with, Tribune, a rider to the Tinubu boast berates Atiku at Lagos rally says Tinubu needs rest. His campaign has failed. Atiku team fires back. And on a good note for PDP is the story on page 6. Osun Agog, as Adeleke takes over as governor. Supporters to slaughter over 100 cows for celebration. So there will be
that's a big one.
A lot of suya and a lot of pepper souping, as Dr. Abati will say, you know, in Oshogbo today. Other stories: Ohaneze youth seek intervention of Igbo retired generals over Nnamdi Kanu. That's on page 7 of the papers, of the newspaper. And then Gani Adams is speaking on page 5. Kidnapping, we won't allow Lagos-Ibadan Highway become another Abuja-Kaduna road. Sadly, on page 6, on page 20 of the paper, 12-year-old kidnaps 3-year-old girl in Bauchi, demands 150,000 ransom. And the rider says male teacher rapes 5-year-old boy to death in Ogun. Teacher held for molesting 4-year-old. Atiku meets Dangote, Ovia, other private sector leaders, which, you know, we've seen in this day too, expresses confidence he will win in 2023. And last but not the least, from the Tribune, partisan comment by CJN violates oath of office. That's from the PDP. Justice Ariwoola couldn't have said he was happy over G5, says Supreme Court. Still on, another angle to the lead.
To the CJN story.
Yes, in this day. Those are from the Tribune.
Yep. I think still on the political rebats, the same, position should be reiterated. It's just like Waziri Adio saying today in his column at the back page of this day.
Yes.
That we must keep watch, of the way politicians go about this campaign and try, to encourage them, to focus, on the issues, and also to demonstrate, certain level of, tolerance of differences. That because, as Waziri Adio was quoting the eminent social scientist, the late Glodake, that you cannot build democracy without Democrats, and it is part of democratic culture, to have very, civilized, debates, disagreements, But then, if you only have that, if you are actually, focusing on the issue, but it's important to look at two stories, on the front page of a Tribune. One, it is a question of security on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, which Gani Adams is drawing attention to, as a non-state actor, who is also a leader of his people. I think it's very important. We're giving, the reports, of recent, of kidnapping or violence, of violence on that road. I think perhaps it should be safe to assume that the security agencies, especially the police, that they are taking note of that, that the incessant reports of kidnapping, of killing and other violent crimes on the Lagos-Ibadan Express Road, is something to watch. The other one is the story of Nnamdi Kanu. And I think also on the front page of the Sun,
the Sun is saying release Nnamdi Kanu now.
Bianca Ojukwu, yes. Yes. So you can see that there is a groundswell of opinion, that there should be a political resolution, of the matter. And I think the wisdom, that means there's still a lot of wisdom, in that particular position, that at the end of the day, the Nnamdi Kanu matter is not a matter you can resolve in court, because it is actually a political, problem, and the preference for the political solution, should be obvious, to the authorities. I think some months ago, the Ohaneze Ndigbo, the forum of leaders, of the Igbo nation, met with the president, and tried, to negotiate it. I remember the late nationalist, Mbazolike Amechi, who died a few weeks ago, actually led a particular delegation, and there was no clear commitment on the part of the federal government to do it. And I think with this groundswell of opinion, the federal government should actually have a look to the matter, that it's not a matter that you can resolve, judicially, using technicalities of the court, but rather a matter that, in the interest of national unity and cohesion, that it should be resolved politically. Yeah.
Okay. Should we
look at on there, following what we just discussed?
Okay, all right. So we take the Sunday Sun because of the Bianca Ojukwu story that we have mentioned. But the lead story actually says, "No opponent can kill me," Tinubu declares, which we have treated in the Sun too. Yeah. As 10 APC governors, 3 ex-governors, others storm Lagos rally for APC presidential candidates. So that will be 10 APC governors out of 22 that they control. Since 2023 election will be about broom revolution, tackles Atiku again. On top of that is an important story from the CBN, inflation rate to fall below 15% by the end of 2023. That's the CBN giving that ray of hope, given the fact that...
Now, mind you, 2023.
in fact, I think
not 2022.
The detail actually says by the last quarter.
I hope you are not misreading. It's not 2022, it's 2023.
No, it can't even be 2022 anymore because it's the last quarter of 2023.
Yeah.
We only have December to go now.
Yes.
But you are right, KK, because what that means is that we probably will have to deal with the above 20% inflation rate, where we are now. And he's saying that hopefully by
another 1 year.
For another 1 year, it might go down to,
in other words,
to 15%. That's CBN. Well, we'll see how it goes. Maybe there will be merit or there is hope in the redesigning of the Naira and the attendant benefits that is supposed to come from February next year. But we'll wait and see. A political story, another one, 2023 presidency, odds against PDP, APC in Southeast. It's focusing on PDP and APC. Could Labour be the challenge as far as Southeast is concerned?
Obviously.
Other stories, 2023, why PDP can sanction G5 governors as Rivers PDP gives conditions to support Atiku. The G5, as you know, Abi, Wike and the boys.
And the gang.
KK doesn't like us to say Wike and the gang.
He doesn't want to hear the gang.
Adeleke's inauguration. NSCDC deploys 3,700 personnel, embarks on show of force in Osun. Those are the stories on the cover of the Sun today.
Yeah. Well, I think let me be on a lighter note, that the Sun is trying to give the opposite of what we talk about the Lagos rally, you know. Like the focus have been on those who were absent. But the Sun is demonstrating those who were there, you know. And that for a state campaign to have 10 governors, you know, I mean, that's the governor from other states to solidarize with not just only Asiwaju this time around, also governors Sanwo-Olu. Yes, that's true. You know. Now, but the thing about the inflation rate, you know, which is being projected, you know, I think is it just shows, you know, that the challenge, you know, the economic challenge that the country has now, which again brings back, that is if you put it within the context of the fact that the whole discussion now is just all politics, you know, like Simon Kolawole, you know, as the title of his new book, you know, it is all politics.
It's all politics.
So I think, you know, a news item like the CBN should temper us that it should not be all politics. You know, that there should be, you know, serious reflection, serious discussion about the condition of people, you know, especially, you know, like the theme of the next town hall of Arise and its collaborators, yes. You know, that it's about, you know, poverty, you know, in the country, human development, you know, yes. And what happens in the education and the health sector. That you are having 133 million out of the over 2 million that we're having are being poor, you know, which translates to the fact that 2 out of 3 Nigerians, you know, are considered, you know, to be poor, you know, and with all these indices, which are very grim, you know, not you know, encouraging, we'll expect that, you know, the politics that is being played now, you know, should not just be all politics, but that we should be coming up with different options, you know, in terms of how to approach, you know, the economic crisis, you know, because if you are projecting that, you know, we can only have relief in about a year's time, it shows that, you know, the solution is not. It's not yet in sight.
It's not in sight
at all, you know. So the opportunity, you know, of the election, of presenting manifestos of people, you know, presenting the agenda, you know, should be taken by politicians, you know, to ensure that we have solutions to the problem, you know, as the focus of the debate, you know, and not just insults, abuses, you know, and threats of violence. The other one is the headache of PDP, you know, that is the G5, you know, not the gang of 5, you know, but
the group of 5.
Whatever, any other thing, you know, apart from the gang. But then the interesting thing there, you know, to say is that when you look at the meeting, you know, the G5 had in Lagos last week.
Yes.
You know, just show that, you know, that the force that particular group is constituting, you know, perhaps goes beyond the 5 governors. You know, because remember that meeting was hosted by the Chief Bode George, you know, and the communique was read by Senator Jang, you know, from Plateau State, you know, so that you have other politicians there, you know, which means that, you know, PDP ought to summon its capacity for internal resolution of disputes. You know, that capacity to be able to put an end to it, because the nearer you get into election, you know, the greater threat, you know, such a plea, you know, because of the party, you know.
Okay.
So let's hope that the PDP will be able to solve it.
Okay. We have 20 seconds to go, KK. But the Sunday Punch here is saying foreign creditors may seize presidential jets over accumulated debts. That's on page 3 of the Punch. Jets may be denied flight permits by foreign countries Fleet commander tells lawmakers 1.5 billion naira allocated for 10 aircraft maintenance out of proposed 4.5 billion. Presidential jets are diplomatic property. Seizing them won't be easy. That's expensive.
Yes, maybe this is an opportunity to call on President Buhari to fulfill one of his campaign promises
in
2015
on the presidential fleet.
Yeah, that it should be reduced. That I mean, just shows that it is not sustainable.
Yeah.
So maybe it is not too late.
Yeah.
You know, to
fulfill it.
Yes. You know, to reduce. You know, the fleet so that it become manageable. You know, because the larger the fleet, the more expensive it is. You know, to maintain. So maybe the solution would be, you know, to reduce this.
And if he's not able to do that, since it's a government of continuity, maybe the APC presidential candidate, if he wins,
take it from there.
Can take it from there, isn't it, Abby?
We'll take it from there.
All right.
That is well taken.
Okay.